Points North Gallery hosted a new art showcase of local artists. First up, we spoke with Lucas Seward on his subjective pieces.
I originally started painting with bitumen a number of years ago, and I'm blessed with the success that I've had. It's been an incredible journey, and for me, what I've come to realize is that I respect this whole new freedom that comes with this resin work, and it's not to detract away from my paintings, because I love doing them, but there's a very traditional approach to the paintings. Like it's quite meticulous. You know, it comes from a background where you're using very similar tools that you would with many other mediums. But the resin side of things is a completely exploratory process that there's no guide, there's no book, you basically are inventing yourself with every piece, and you're always surprised with the outcome. And I find that extremely gratifying. Basically, in a nutshell, my approach was to mimic naturally occurring oil. I think we're all too familiar of what sight in manufacturing looks like. But for me, this was an opportunity to try to capture and encapsulate oil in a way that mimics that of Mother Nature. It's quite literally a depiction of my own journey, you know, and I've come to realize that like the child in me that just wants to explore and not necessarily think about the questions, you just do things, you know. If you want to play in the dirt and you want to smell things and you want to taste things, I think we start to lose that as we get older and we start analyzing why, you know, rationale and logic. I mean, there's many beautiful things that come from that, but I, as an artist, want to explore the more raw, kind of childish, you know, element of just seeing what happens in pure curiosity.
Bill Martin was in the gallery as well and had one new piece that he was proud of in particular. It was a focal point for him the whole evening.
This was taken in the Birchwood Trails, and it was a shot that I've been planning actually for several years. The reason being is I wanted to tie together, you know, the forest that everyone's familiar with here with the Northern Lights. And it was a difficult shot because I had to frame the photograph and wait for the Northern Lights to come to me. Usually you would go and point towards the Northern Lights. So it took a couple years before I finally got it right, but one night it all came together for me. The trees reaching up and the Northern Lights coming down, and kind of there I am in the middle between the sky, the heavens, whatever you want to call that, and the earth and where we live. And it's just, I wanted to feel like those two were just touching for a moment. And you know, sometimes the Northern Lights, they come right down on top of you, and it feels like it's a show just for you. You know, it was really rewarding for me to finally capture it. And what we went through last year was very challenging, and especially as a photographer coming back and having a completely different landscape. So yeah, it's definitely, you know, it's special to me to have captured it the way it was, but at the same time, the landscape has changed, and we've got a lot of new growth coming into the picture. One thing that I've started to do is actually explore into aerial photography and looking at the forest from different angles. When you look at it from the side, you see the effects of the fire are obvious. But when you look at it from the top down, what you're seeing, kind of the inverse of this photograph, you get a bird's eye view of all the new growth and the new colors that are coming out of the forest floor. And so it's something new. Stay tuned. It's going to be kind of my next adventure. So.
To check out more local artists like Lucas and Bill, head to the Points North Gallery. For the community producers, I'm Vanessa Chauhan.